I remember what people used to say when they'd see me. "Such a handsome child. He looks like he came straight out of a movie." "Shame that he lives in a hut. He'd make a fine husband if he weren't so poor." My name's Logan. I have 4 siblings and no parents. Dad left us when I was 12. Our mom ran off with the neighbor when Dad caught her cheating. It was tough being that young and having to raise 4 kids on my own. But I did my best. I would have been valedictorian of my class if I didn't have to drop out and start working as soon as I could. I could have studied acting or started modeling, but I had no chance from the get-go. Those things needed time and money, both things I couldn't spare even a little of. But still, I considered myself lucky. I had Tom. He was my best friend. He would visit often and bring us food and clothes. He even got me my current job as a temp at his uncle's marketing agency. Sometimes I'd even get to audition for some commercials and billboard ads. I'd get a gig every now and again, and it's all thanks to Tom. I just needed a big break. But somehow, whenever I'd get close to landing a big ad campaign, something would go wrong, and I'd lose my chance. Or Tom's uncle would find out that I was doing extra work, and he'd punish me for it. I've been temping there for over 3 years, and I still haven't gotten a raise or a promotion. One day, a client and her daughter came in looking to do a $1 million ad campaign. Tom landed the deal, of course, and we were all very proud of him. But it turned out, Tom wanted to land our client's daughter as well. Her name was Talia, and she was laughing at a joke I said when Tom first saw her. Tom introduced himself and gestured for me to leave them alone. I'd do anything for my buddy, so I did. But before I left, Talia grabbed my hand. Do you think I could have your number?" I didn't know how to say no. And I didn't want to reject her either. Suddenly, Tom and I were in a competition. Tom told me to back down, but I had feelings for Talia too. So he competed with his money. He stopped helping my siblings, and he showered Talia with gifts. Whenever they'd meet, he'd pick her up in a limo and take her to the most expensive places. I could never top any of that. I couldn't even find the time to ask her out. I had to take a second job just to be able to pay for tuition because my siblings were starting school. But every night, when Talia would get home from her date with Tom, she'd text me. It was me she'd run to, and we would talk about everything under the sun. Sometimes she'd even vent to me about all Tom does is try to impress her with his money. "So, when are you gonna ask me out?" I wish I could, but how could I ever take you on a date that could compete with the dates Tom takes you on? And you know how my life is. I work 2 jobs. The only time I have left is when I get home to make dinner and put my brothers and sisters to sleep. "I'll come over then. I'll make dinner." That night, Talia and I had the most fun date I could have imagined. She brought bags upon bags of food, and together, we made dinner, and it was so much fun. It was probably the most fun I'd had in a long time. She got to meet my siblings, and they played in the kitchen with us. Dinner was a blast. The kids told Talia all about school, and Talia helped them with their homework. And after we tucked the kids to bed, she and I went outside and sat on the grass to look at the stars. I should have been tired, but with Talia, everything was a breeze. She hugged me and told me how much fun she had. And then, she kissed me. "Get off her!" "What? Tom, what are you doing here?" "I tracked your phone. I knew you'd run off to him. After everything I've done, you stand me up? I had a helicopter waiting for us, and you stood me up to go to... this? It's not always about money, Tom. You, shut up! How dare you take my girl to this dump? You couldn't even afford to take her on a real date. You... I'm not your girl, Tom. You ungrateful... Do you have any idea, Logan? I'm so glad I didn't let you become successful at Uncle Ian's company. I knew you'd betray me the moment you tasted success. That commercial you didn't get cast in? Yeah, I did that. I'm the one who told Uncle you were doing side jobs, too. I was tired of seeing you do well. What? I thought we were friends. We were never friends. I've been helping you all this time because I felt guilty that my dad left you and your siblings. And now, you betray me like this? What are you talking about? I've said enough. Tom didn't talk to me for weeks. He had his uncle fire me from my job, and so all I could do was try to keep my part-time job at Tuber Eats. I avoided Talia, too. I was afraid of what Tom would do to hurt me and my family if he finds out I was still pursuing her. One evening, I got an order from an anonymous customer, and when I drove up to the address, it was a massive house made of glass. I tried to ring the doorbell, but the door opened on its own. A robot came to me and started speaking. The mistress is waiting for her food by the pool. Please proceed this way. I walked towards the pool, and when I saw who it was, I couldn't speak. Talia was in the pool, but the pool was filled with money. I'm sorry I had you walk all the way here. I wanted to give you your tip. Talia kissed me and told me to use all that money to get back what I'd lost. She also gave me all the intel that she'd found out about what Tom said that night. It turned out, Tom's dad really was my missing dad. When Mom cheated on him, he wanted revenge, so he cheated too. Turns out, that wasn't a coincidence. Tom's mom had wanted Dad ever since they were kids, and my mom was her rival. When Tom's mom found out that Mom had run off, she told Dad that Mom took us with her, and that's why Dad never came looking for us. I moved my siblings into a penthouse suite that I bought with that money. I underwent a complete transformation. I got myself an agent and started going to acting classes. Talia sold the rights to my life story to a producer, and we started filming right away. The girls who used to look down on me and ignore me now admire me and scream my name when I pass by them. They used to say it was a waste that I was so poor, but now they all want to be my wives. One day I was back in town filming an early scene from back when I was still a delivery boy when someone bumped into me. Tom looked me up and down and laughed when he saw what I was wearing. I heard you and Talia are now a couple. You'll never be good enough for her. You know that, right? Her mom will never allow Talia to get married to the likes of you. Watch her get tired of how poor you are. She'll come running back to me, I'm sure. Cut! Who the heck is this guy? You're ruining my shot! Can someone... Security! Get this idiot out of my frame, please! Tom only just noticed the cameras pointed at us, the crowd of onlookers at the far end of the street, and the huge trailers across the street that told him he had stumbled across our outdoor filming location. Oh, Tom! Nobody's running back to you. Now, can you run off of the set, please? Tom grabbed my arms. No way! You're a movie star now? Hey, we were buddies, right? Maybe you can get me a job here. Dad's cut me off because I kept losing my jobs. The bank's gonna take my Lambo if I don't pay up. In exchange for helping you, I'll tell you what really happened to your family. It's my mom. I already know. He had no idea that Dad would be there. I invited him to watch us film, and I also already told him about the truth. That same day, Dad left his new family. He kicked out his new wife, and he welcomed my siblings to move in there with him. I never helped Tom land a job at our production. You betrayed me to impress a girl, and now you betray your own mother for money. You deserve what you get, Tom. Months later, while we were filming the final scene, the happy ending everyone was waiting for, I saw Tom in the crowd. He looked homeless. He was with the onlookers who were watching us film, and even they didn't want to get too close to him. In that final scene, a very famous actress played the role of Talia, and we were getting married. I relished the look of envy in Tom's eyes as my co-star and I shared a deep, passionate kiss. Cut! That's a wrap! People all around us clapped, and finally my first movie was done. I won an Oscar for it, and in the middle of my speech I ran down to the seats and grabbed Talia. I kissed her and she whispered in my ear, "I'm so proud of you." This is everything I've ever dreamed of. Thank you for helping me get back what I lost, and more. As the whole theater stood up to give our love a standing ovation, I kissed my beautiful wife again.